All right, so Hard Knocks 2017. Off season's here. Training camp is right around the corner. Before you know it, the season's going to be starting. Training camp, preseason.
Oh, it's exciting time of the year. The draft is coming up.
One of my favorite things about the off season during training camp is Hard Knocks. And
Yep.
The NFL a few years ago they made a rule to kind of like force teams, not force, but like compel teams to
Yeah.
agree to do the show. A few rules that they made was, teams could not be on the show if they just hired a new coach, if they made the playoffs in the previous 2 seasons, or
Yep.
if they've appeared on Hard Knocks in the previous 10 years. So that knocks a whole bunch of teams and it narrows down the list. And it narrowed down to 8 teams for going into this year, but 3 teams already said absolutely not. We're not. It's not happening. The Colts, the Cleveland Browns, and the Philadelphia Eagles said absolutely not. It's not going to go down. So
That's
that leaves
interesting.
us down to 5 teams that are eligible for Hard Knocks this year, and those
Oh,
teams
wow.
are the Baltimore Ravens, the New Orleans Saints, the Chicago Bears, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Tennessee Titans. Those 5 teams
Wow.
are eligible for this year's Hard Knocks. Now,
Got some good
who
choices there.
do you think should get Hard Knocks this year? Who would you like to see? Who would be the best team to watch?
I'm looking at this list, and there's actually a couple teams I love I'd love to see on Hard Knocks, but there's one that's jumping out at me. Just one. I know, just one, Josh. I'm getting there. It's going to be, or should be, the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tampa Bay Bucks. There we go.
Absolutely, no question.
Absolutely.
No question about it.
I don't see why not. You have a young quarterback up and coming, Jameis Winston.
Who's kind of got a mouth and controversial. He's not very shy
He's
with
still
the camera.
still maturing. Yeah, yeah. Then you have Mike Evans, one of the best receivers in the game. You just got Deshaun Jackson,
Jackson.
who's also another character.
Yes, he'd be entertaining.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then plus they have the Doug Martin situation. He's still kind of
Who's
going
the
through
running
that.
back? You got some jobs up for
Got
grabs.
controversy with him. They're trying to maybe draft a running back. So there's possibilities. Maybe AP. Maybe just throwing that
Everyone's
out.
been out there.
There's rumors. I don't think it's gonna happen. But anyways, there is some buildup for them, and I think that team is young. It's up and coming. Their defense has been pretty good. So why not, man? Why not give it to a quarterback that really is not shy, like you said? I think it'll be great.
Here's what I'm looking for when I'm wanting a Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
For a good season. I'm expecting. I want characters, and you got them with Jameis Winston. You got them with Deshaun Jackson. I
Yep.
would like to get to know more of Mike Evans, as he's one of my favorite NFL players. So
He
I
is.
would like to see that. I would like to get more, the cameras and getting to know
Yeah.
more of some of these players. Like, it was very interesting.
He's not lying, people. He's not lying.
Like
He's
when,
obsessed with Mike Evans.
like when when Hard Knocks when they did it with Cincinnati Bengals, it was really cool to see Chad Johnson and see his personality. Even though he was already out there in a lot of the media, it was really cool to see how he is during training camp. JJ Watt was really fun to watch when they did the Texans last year. So I always look for that, and I would like to see more of Mike Evans and see more of his personality. And then of course you want job competition, and I think especially with that running back position, there's options there. What are they gonna do? Charles Sims, Doug Martin situation, AP's being thrown out there like you talked about. And of course, what also makes them interesting is their division. Their division is going to be one of the toughest divisions next year. I mean, the NFC South, every year a new team takes over that division. Carolina Panthers, the Saints, the Bucks. No matter what, even if one of them really sucked the year before, they come back full swing the next year. Atlanta Falcons, who thought they were going to be as good as they were last year? Who thought that?
Nobody.
Everyone thought Carolina Panthers, and then
again.
Atlanta comes, and they were one of the best teams throughout the entirety of the year, up until the Super Bowl, up until the late third quarter. So that's how the division plays, and I would love to see Hard Knocks cover an NFC South team. So I'm all in Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
100%.
But
100%.
let's say they say no. Who would you go next? Who else would be interesting?
My second choice?
Yeah.
That's simple. It's no brainer, Josh.
For the same reasons.
It's same reasons. It's got to be the Tennessee Titans.
Marcus Mariota.
You have DeMarco Murray, you have Derrick Henry. You know, right up there on his heels, keeping DeMarco Murray. You have Delaney Walker. I think he's one of the most underrated tight ends in the game.
I would like to get to know Delaney Walker.
I want to get to know him more. I want to figure out because he's not really in the spotlight that much, right?
And their defense, you know, they've had huge defensive issues the last couple of years.
Yeah, but they have some good talent though. Like the deep line,
exactly.
I think is actually a lot better than people realize. But one thing is going to be very interesting is that they are definitely going to be drafting some good talent. They have like 2 first-round picks, right? So,
and one of them got to be wide receiver.
They're going to be a wide receiver.
What are they going to be doing with the wide receiver positions? Because they need one.
Exactly. So I think they're going to get a receiver. And
so,
man,
you know,
all these young
how
players,
cool would it be if they were to draft Jonathan Ross, right? The guy who broke Chris Johnson's record, and we got to know him more during Hard Knocks. That would be fucking cool, right?
That would be cool. Be cool. So there's a lot of potential there. They got a lot of young talent, even some good offensive linemen. Taylor Lewan, I think his name. He's been in the media before. So there's a lot of young talent there, and that's what I think is key. And it would be cool to see the Tennessee Titans. I know me and you are huge on them.
And this last year, we went all the way to Nashville to watch them play. We were very interested in what they were building over there. So that would be really cool. And, you know, they had the Texans last year, so they can stay in the NFC South and do a perspective from another team. But,
might as well.
But I don't know that I don't think the Titans would want to, because I feel like one thing that a lot of teams don't want to, a reason they don't want to do Hard Knocks is because they feel like they want to be under the radar. They don't want to tip their hat as to what they're doing. And Tennessee has so much talent, man. They are very overlooked with how much talent they have. Even with their defense, who have had, like, you know, their defense was not very good in the last couple of years, but they got a lot of talent there. They just signed Logan, right? During the free agency.
Yeah.
And so, Titans would be good. The Saints, I think HBO would probably like having the Saints on their show because
it's New Orleans.
Yeah, it's New Orleans. You got the French Quarter right there. You know, you probably have some players trying to go and get into the nightlife right there, which is like right down the street or whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
Like during preseason games or after preseason games and shit. And maybe some players get in trouble or whatever. But you got Drew Brees, who's, you know, towards the end of his career. You got Sean Payton. You could talk about Brandon Cooks and how he just, you know, got traded to New England. You could, you know, talk about the other receivers that they have that they're going to have to fill the void of now that Brandon Cooks is gone, like Willie Snead and the guy that they just drafted last year. I forgot his name.
Michael Thomas.
Okay, yeah, Michael Thomas. He was a beast last year.
I loved him. I was huge on him. You remember that. I like that guy.
I love them in DraftKings. Yeah, Saints would be a good one. The Ravens, I just don't see Harbaugh buying into Hard Knocks. He's not putting up with that crap. I'm surprised
they got way too much shit they got to work out.
I'm surprised they said
distractions.
I'm surprised they haven't said no already. And the Chicago Bears, you know, me being a Bears fan, I really wouldn't mind watching the Chicago Bears on Hard Knocks, but at the same time, I think that so many people are completely overlooking and laughing at the Chicago Bears, and they really shouldn't, because I think that they have just kind of like the Titans.
You got something going here, Josh, because I think the Bears, man, they have a good starting quarterback, Mark Sanchez. So, you know, I really think it might be a good idea.
He's not going to be a fucking quarterback. But yeah, so the Bears, I think we have a whole lot of talent, and I don't want to tip our hats. I want to the NFL, and I want us to fly under the radar next year. I want people to go into every single week when they see the Chicago Bears on the schedule going, oh, we're going to beat that team, and then possibly surprise them, because I think we got a pretty damn good team up and coming.
Hey, Jordan Howard, monster.
Yes.
So,
and especially our defense. Like, I think our defense is turning around.
Big reason I don't think the Bears will take him is because John Fox is not.
No, John Fox is kind of like Harbaugh. I'm surprised he hasn't said no yet.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I think the only reason they haven't said no officially is probably because the ownership and the GM. But I think John Fox, if he had any say so, he doesn't like to give any shit out. He doesn't even, in preseason, he doesn't even like to give you an injury report.
No.
You know? So what makes you think that he's going to be like, yeah, sure, have cameras everywhere and see everything we do? No.
Let us know what you think about these 5 teams from Hard Knocks. Of these 5 teams, who would you choose? Who do you want to see featured in this year's Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
Again, me and Sean are unanimous on this.
Bucks.
Tampa Bay Bucks. Absolutely. Hey, if you enjoy these videos, then click these links down here below for some of our other videos.
And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and click that subscribe button to catch our future videos.
Yes. Do that. Do it now.
What he said.